I'm a beginning martial arts student. Have been beginning for a long time, but I came to it late, and as a result, have been very stiff. So a lot of what I do is related to stretching exercises prior to using the muscles, and this is good for any any person involved in sports or music. For us, it requires loosening up the shoulder muscles, stretching out the arm muscles, fingers, certain things to maximize the ability to get around the instrument comfortably without pulling a muscle. We have there's a whole new sport medicine geared toward the arts called music medicine or arts medicine, because we musicians have injuries related to overuse syndromes, something akin to rotator cuff, carpal tunnel for the wrist movements. Some of our cellists and violinists go through that. So the stretching and strengthening of muscles that we use, the shoulder, the back, the hands, arms, that's all very, very important.
Have you ever been injured to the point where you've been unable to play?
Yes, I was. I think it's been 4, maybe 5 years ago. I sustained an injury, a playing-related injury, which the therapist at Barnes told me was a muscle imbalance. The muscles across the back here became stretched. The muscles up here were shortened. And this happened over the course of my playing career to the point that there was no soft tissue between the shoulder blade and the upper arm, and the bone of my upper arm was being pulled into the bone of the shoulder socket, rubbing bone against bone. That hurt a lot. At the time that I stopped playing, I couldn't lift my arm any more than this without excruciating pain. So I was off the instrument for 2 months in therapy, learning how to reuse the muscles, letting the inflammation go down, and then I was taught certain strengthening muscles, just step by step, for 2 months, and then she allowed me to go back to the instrument, and it was like 5 minutes at a time. I had to relearn how to play the violin in accordance with proper muscular movement. I was out for 4.5 months total. And as a result of that, I've gained a much greater awareness of the importance of being in shape. Although I asked her point blank, how could I have avoided this injury? And she said, short of playing for a person like herself periodically in my career, she said there was no way you could have avoided it, because I played too well for my teachers to have spotted what was going on. It was just in playing with the bow, the extension this way, rounding the shoulders, the muscles, without doing an equivalent amount of stretching backwards like this to balance out the shoulders. This is what was missing. And during the time that I was growing up, no violin teachers were even aware of that as a possibility. So I've learned a lot from that injury, and I pass this on to my students. And of course, I monitor myself carefully every day. And I do conditioning, stretching, strengthening exercises. I use dumbbells. I have a Soloflex out back that I use, and I do push-ups, all in the name of strengthening the shoulder area, the upper pectoral muscles, so that that injury will never happen to me again.
That's amazing that you have that kind of story to tell us, because I imagine most of our children never thought of musicians as being people who have to exercise to keep in good shape.
Yes. Again, it's like a sport. We use our muscles many, many hours a day, and those muscles are smaller than the larger leg muscles that all your baseball, football, hockey players use. They involve, they're used just as just as hard as the others, but they're smaller units, so that they have to be dealt with a lot more care. Otherwise, you strain them, bruise them, and can do permanent damage.